As if buying a home wasn't expensive enough in Saskatchewan, ISC has announced there are changes coming to closing costs for Saskatchewan borrowers. In today's episode of the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast, I'll explain these changes, how they affect you, and what you can do to avoid them if your possession day is coming up soon.
This is the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast, the show that highlights Saskatchewan real estate. Looking to buy your first house, your next investment property? Subscribe to never miss an episode. Here's your host, Ron Caroni.
Welcome back to the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Ron Caroni. Here on the channel, we love to touch on all things Saskatchewan, all things real estate. If this sounds like content that you're looking for, something you need, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our weekly episodes that come out every single Monday. If there's a question you had about this video or another on the channel and you'd like to reach out, please feel free to send me an email to ron@ronqmortgage.ca. And to show my appreciation for your attention throughout the whole video, I've also included a special real estate pro tip at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Just as borrowers are reeling from the Bank of Canada's increase and adjusting to higher rates, we're seeing another increase. ISC, or Information Services Corporation, has made a change that is going to make all future home purchases in Saskatchewan more expensive. They announced an increase in their fees for land transfer and mortgage registration. These aren't just small tweaks either. Some of the costs are incrementally rising, some are entirely new, and the fee calculation formula itself has been modified. Let's break down these changes to see what they really mean for us. First off, the transfer of land title is getting pricier. The cost has increased from 0.3% of the property value to 0.4%. So if we're talking about a $300,000 property, the land title transfer fee has shot up from $900 to a solid $1,200. That's a noticeable jump. Mortgage registration costs have also seen an overhaul. The flat fee of $180 for the first 4 titles, with each extra title costing $55, is a thing of the past. The new structure is tier-based on the mortgage value being registered, which could significantly inflate costs for higher value properties. Something else to watch out for is the collateral charge registration. The value at which you register could have a significant impact on the registration cost. It's common for big banks to register the value of the purchase price or higher even when they're lending less. This could unfortunately translate to higher costs for you. But there's more. Let's talk about the mortgage discharges. These used to be free, but that's changing. Now you'll need to pay $55 for every full or partial discharge. There's an extra cost to factor in when you're planning your finances. And for those who require detailed title searches and abstracts, you're going to see a small increase as the costs of these services goes up from $12 to $15. It's important to understand how these changes can affect different types of transactions. Let's look at 3 examples. Consider a property worth $250,000 with a $200,000 mortgage registered against it. The new fee structure will increase the land transfer cost by $250, and title searches cost an extra $9. Overall, this transaction will now be $259 more expensive. Let's take a more expensive property, say worth $600,000 with a $520,000 mortgage registered against it. In this case, the land transfer cost will increase by $600 and the mortgage registration will jump by $320. Add to that $36 more for title searches, and you're looking at a steep increase of $956 for the same deal. Now let's consider a sale with 2 surface parcel titles and 2 uncertified mineral titles with a mortgage registered against each. The additional charge to discharge the mortgage, coupled with an increase in title search costs, result in an extra $67 on this sale transaction. If you have further questions about these changes, reach out to your real estate lawyer. If you have been quoted for closing costs on a real estate transaction and the closing date is after July 29, 2023, you should be reaching out to your real estate lawyer and see how your previous quotes have changed. It's clear that these changes are set to impact the cost of buying a house in Saskatchewan, and you will need to factor them into while budgeting for your next property. Now for your real estate pro tip. When a lender is reviewing your mortgage application, they're also keeping track of the amount of money that you're going to need in order to close on the sale of the property. Most lenders ask that borrowers provide documentation for 1.5% of the purchase price to cover these closing costs on top of the down payment tracking. Two ways around this are to either debt service the closing costs onto a credit card or line of credit if you have the debt servicing room and if the lender will allow it, or you have your lawyer provide your quote for closing costs. As always, if you're considering a mortgage in Saskatchewan or need any advice related to real estate financing on your next purchase, renewal, or refinance, I am here to help. Send me an email to ron@ronqmortgage.ca for a no-fee pre-approval. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to show your support for our weekly episodes that come out every single Monday. Until next week, my name is Ron Caroni, your Saskatchewan mortgage professional. Bye for now.